can't allow someone like you to wear it.
Hi, so welcome to my moving vlog. I hope you can hear me okay. There's a little bit of construction outside, but it is currently almost 8 p.m, so we've been in Leeds 5 hours now. We got here at 3 p.m. after a 4-hour, well, almost 5-hour drive. But yeah, as you can see, we're in this Airbnb with an amazing view. And so yeah, tomorrow I start looking at apartments. Just for some context, I'm going into second year. I've just finished first year at the University of Sussex and I'm transferring to the University of Leeds. So I'm looking for an apartment here, 1 to 2 bedrooms. So yeah, I'll probably see you next tomorrow morning. Just quickly, I'm jumping in just to talk through the apartments because I wasn't really talking while I was there filming them. I wanted to focus on talking to my mum and the real estate agent and also having a look around. Just before that though, I want to talk about the areas of Leeds I was looking in. So I've got my map here, but I'll jump over to the side so I can put it up on the screen for you. So first is Central. That's the city centre where I was staying in my Airbnb. I really love the feel of being in the city and being close to everything. Then I have the university area just above that. So again, I also really like this area. The two main things I wanted to be near were the city centre and the university. So I either needed to be able to walk, get a bus or some sort of transportation to these places easily. The third area is just below the city centre. This is by the river. To me, it sort of had like a New York vibe. There was lots of brick buildings and I thought it was really cool, and obviously you had an amazing view of the river and the city. And then just next to the city centre there was the financial district. This had some cute bars and cafes and stuff, but not as many as the city centre, and it was also super close to the train station. And then there's this last area, I believe it's called Little London. It's sort of above from the city centre and across from the university area. This had pretty good transport to city centre, but it was a little bit out of the area I wanted to be. So now let's get into the first day of apartment hunting. Apartment number 1 was a really good size. It was 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. They were also pretty flexible with furniture, which was important to me because although I was looking for a 1 to 2 bed, I would be the only person living there and I would use the second bedroom as my office. This was in the Little London area, so it's a little bit out of where I wanted to be, but I hadn't seen anything yet, so it was really good to see what was up there. The view from this flat wasn't bad, but it wasn't quite what I was looking for. But the apartment did have a closed off courtyard just for the building. So moving on to apartment number 2. This was another 2-bed, 2-bath. 1 bedroom was smaller, which would probably be my office, and 1 bedroom was much bigger and lighter. There were 2 things I absolutely loved about this apartment. Firstly, the view was really nice. I believe the river in Leeds is called the River Aire, and it looked right over that, and it was right behind the train station, which had this big gold structure, which was really cool. And I absolutely love cooking, so the kitchen is so important to me, and the kitchen in this flat was so lovely. This flat was obviously in the area down by the river. It had super good transport connections because I could literally walk out my door and go right through the back entrance to the train station. Also, it was literally like a 2-minute walk to city centre. Okay, so apartment number 3. This was a 2-bed, 1-bath apartment, and it also had a nice kitchen. It was sort of like a longer kitchen. This apartment had secure gating and a concierge, which was really nice, and also I believe you could get parking. The view again was okay. There was a little bit of greenery, but it wasn't like amazing. And the location for this one, I would say, was sort of the bottom of what I consider the university area. So you could walk into the city, but it wasn't as close as the last one. And you could walk to the university, but it was a bit uphill and a bit confusing. There wasn't great public transport for this area, and also my mum wasn't quite sure about how safe the location was. Okay, so now apartment number 4. This was actually a new build sort of complex of apartments, so we actually saw 2 apartments in this building. So both of these only had 1 bathroom, but the bathroom I have to say was absolutely amazing. There was automatic lights when you walked in, and all the appliances and fixtures were so modern and up to date. The furniture in there was also new, and I'm quite particular about how clean stuff is, especially when you're moving into a rental and it's not your furniture. The view was really lovely. It wasn't over the city, but it was sort of over the suburbs, and you could see fields and greenery and stuff. This development also came with a gym membership within the rent. and you could pay a little bit extra for parking, which was really secure. And I would say this set of buildings was in the university area, so I could definitely walk to uni, but there wasn't great public transport links and getting to the city would be a bit hard. In the building there was also study rooms, lounge rooms, TV rooms, which were really cool. The thing that really got me on this building is they had like weird anti-student vibes. I'm not quite sure what was happening there. They said the building was built for key workers, which I totally understand, but it wasn't built in the coronavirus thing. It wasn't anything to do with that. So it was like, I can't really explain it. It was just like weird vibes of what they're telling me. And so although I'm a student, they were like, oh, we can take you, but you have to be like low-key about being a student. And I wasn't quite sure about that. I didn't want any difficulties with management. And I was just kind of getting the same vibes I did from my like last university accommodation, where I had like not so much of a good time. But yeah, it was so lovely, but the vibes I was getting were just a bit off. Okay, so moving on to apartment number 5. This was also in the university area, and it was insanely close to a bus stop with direct transport links to the city centre, and also like really close to the university, so it was a great location. Also, when I walked in, the size just had me absolutely shocked. The ceilings were so high and it just made everything seem so spacious, and there was also a lovely bay window in the living room. There was also available parking. This building also had really nice Victorian character. A lot of the places we had seen were new builds or didn't have much character, but this one was in an old Victorian townhouse, and as you can see inside on the walls there was nice moulding, and yeah, I just really liked the character to it. This was a 2-bed, 1-bath, and one of the bedrooms was quite small, but that works for me perfectly. It would be a great office space and fit a desk perfectly. The living room was also really big, and it'd be such a great space to have friends over. There was also like an insane amount of storage for an apartment, which was such a good thing. The only downside for me is that the kitchen and bathroom were a bit cramped. I think looking back it wasn't that bad. I just think we had seen a lot of kitchens which were open plan, so combined with the living room, and this kitchen had its own room, so obviously it's going to feel smaller. Now moving on to apartment number 6. This apartment was almost the exact opposite of what we had just seen, but I also really liked this one. It was in the financial area and had really incredible city views. It was a 2-bed, 2-bath. It also had a lovely L-shaped balcony that went past both the bedrooms and the living room. And this balcony also wasn't connected to another balcony, which was really nice. It also had really lovely lighting and parking included in the rent. The furniture in the flat was also really nice. It had this black and white colour scheme, so it was pretty easy to move in and put your own twist on it. This building also had some bars and cafes and supermarkets near it, sort of like almost in the building. This apartment was also the most expensive apartment we saw while we were in Leeds, and I wasn't quite sure about the location. There was lots of cafes and stuff I really liked in this financial district sort of area, but I thought it might be difficult if I wanted to have friends over. Also, again, with the vibes, this was the only area I sort of felt like I had people like staring at me when I walked in and stuff like that, which I didn't get in any of the other flats. Okay, now moving on to apartment number 7. This apartment was in the city centre, but we hadn't seen any in this area before. If you know Leeds, it was right next to the Corn Exchange. The windows also overlooked Cool Lane, which had all these amazing bars and restaurants. And overall it was just super central and nice location. It also had a little bit more character, although it's a new build. It had this industrial entrance, and then you could see those beams and skylights within the building. The kitchen was also so lovely. It had like a white subway tile and a really light and airy theme. It was also right on top of a pure gym, which was super useful because I'm trying to go to the gym consistently when I'm at uni. Oh, and also it was a 2-bed, 1-bath. Something I was super excited to see in this apartment was it had this thing on the floor plan called like Secret Tower. It's like a storage area you could have, but it was this old brick tower, and it was just like really unique and cool. The only thing that really got me with this apartment is that the bedrooms faced inwards to where everyone would walk to their apartments, but I just couldn't imagine having my bedroom and office face out onto that area, especially if people were walking by. So that was all for day 1, and I think originally for Friday we had about like 6 or 8 viewings, but we ended up cancelling a lot of those. For example, we had a couple in the same buildings but obviously different flats, so that left us with sort of 2.5 more apartments. So now on to day 2. First we saw apartment 8. This was right in the city centre, like you could not be more central. If you know the Weatherspoons on Greek Street, it was literally right next to that. It was a 2-bed, 2-bath and in a really historic building. I'll say this because I didn't actually end up picking this one, but it was literally in the same building as the Royal Bank of Scotland. It was like above the Bank of Scotland. It had this really cool industrial walk up like apartment number 7 did. Obviously the outside and the windows were so historic. Because the building was so lovely, it had this really grand entrance door. It also had a really nice kitchen and a great view. But again, the bedroom that would have been my office looked into the stairs where everyone would walk up, and for some reason, I don't know what it is, that really just puts me off. So now moving on to apartments 9 and sort of 9.5, they were both in the same building. These were quite far down by the river, but although it's not central, there's like shops and stuff going on down there. So this building was actually the tallest building in Leeds, and so it had incredible views. The apartments we looked at were like on the 25th floor, so we were much higher up than anything we had seen so far. Both the flats we looked at were 2-bed, and the first one was 2-bath, the second one was 1.5 bath. This building also had great access to amenities. It was above a gym and had some shops in the building. There was also parking included and a concierge. The first flat we saw was a slightly higher level and it had 2 full baths like I said, and I also think this one had a slightly better view. The second one we saw was slightly smaller and sort of had like a longer layout. Both of these had really modern, nice appliances and the colour scheme was nice too, but they were also both right at the top of my budget. And then finally these apartments were just like a little far out. There was bus stops nearby, but I wasn't sure how easily I could get to uni, and obviously I'm in Leeds to go to uni. Also, it was a little walk from city centre, but it was pretty easy. So it's currently 9:40 AM, we're just about to check out of our Airbnb, and yeah, we're about to drive back home. I hope you enjoyed watching me search through apartments in Leeds. Comment down below which one you liked best. I don't think I'm going to pick the one that people like best from photos and videos, because so much to do with it is space and location, how I envision putting furniture in there, but I can't wait to show you around the place I picked. So yeah, stay tuned for an empty apartment tour and some moving vlogs coming up. But yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And yeah, thanks again for watching.